She's not here. Tanya, can you check, is Nargis outside? She's gone. Well, I thought that was an extraordinary film, and I'm perhaps just will invite, is there anybody here who would like to make any comment or reflection on the film? So I'm looking at the hands. I have Barbara. Barbara, I'm going to ask, do you want to come up here? Because there's a microphone, or I can bring it to you. Because we need it for we need that for the translator.
Okay. All I wanted to really say, it's a comment rather than anything. My mother, who arrived in Persia very ill, I have a photograph of her actually. She looks like a 70-year-old woman. She was a 15-year-old girl. She had two types of malaria. One attack was sort of every 12 hours, and one every 24 hours and one every 48 hours. She also had rheumatic fever, which destroyed her heart. Needless to say, she died at 60, so very early. She always said she loved the Persian people because they saved her life. The Persian women used to bring milk to the children. The milk, you could stand the spoon up with the cream in it. And they would insist that the kids would drink this milk. She said, when the Peacock Throne fell, and it's a bit political, but she cried. She absolutely cried. And she would never have a word said. And she would always say, if everybody treated the refugees the way the Persian people treated Polish people, and if anybody knows the book Isfahan, the town of Polish children, that tells you how they were treated. And without them, I think many more Polish children would have died. That's all I have to say. You know, I'm quite tearful with this whole thing.
Thank you, Barbara. So now I guess what we're doing is just, and people making any comments or asking you any questions, and Barbara was talking how much her reaction was to the Iranian women. That helps the Polish people who were there. Is that?
Do you want to know about my feeling now, or I don't understand? I'm sorry.
Well, it's just, is that, I guess maybe if I can turn that into a question, Barbara, as well, which is the relationship between the Iranian people and the Polish people. Mm-hmm. Was this something that, well, what did you discover about that? How the feelings were between the people, because it's not something that really maybe we think about very much. The countries are so far apart. So
I know 3 Polish women in Iran. Maria Baidan. I made a movie about Maria Baidan's life, and Eleonora Barska and Henrika Levchenska. They are still alive, and they live in Tehran now. And I spoke with these 3 women, and they told me they had very good experience in Iran, and they prefer to stay in Iran. I think there is a good relationship between Iranian people and Polish people. And that time, a lot of Polish, many Polish women preferred to stay in Iran.
With the men?
Yeah. A lot of Polish women were falling in love, and they prefer to stay in Iran.
Yes, I thought the best line was when she was explaining to you, Narges, one day you will learn the language of love. One day. I think I don't know what she was talking about, but anyway, yes.
Okay.
Anybody else with question, Joanna?
I feel like I talk too much. I was waiting for other people to ask questions. But okay, I have 2. One is, it sounded to me like the singer was Mieczysław Fogg or whatever. Was that her record collection? What the Polish songs What were they?
The last.
Well,
the last,
many of them. The last one as well.
yeah, the last one is Adam Aston song.
Adam Aston.
Adam Aston. And it's very old song. It's, I think, 1932. Yeah, it's before the Second World War.
I think he was a Lvov singer, Adam Aston, wasn't he? Adam, does anybody know? Adam Aston. I think he was the tango at the end.
Yeah, it's the tango music. Which one?
We might have to do a bit of research, Ivana, on that. I think it might be in the end titles as well. I saw Adam Aston. We'll have a look.
And first, the music is an old Persian music. It's about 80 years ago. Javad Badizadeh. He was a very famous singer in Iran. And I try to find the old musics for my movie.
Well, I had a question, maybe Adam, and I'll pass.
Wait, can I finish then?
Oh, you have only one question, but you talk a lot, Joanne.
I had two questions, remember?
Yes, go on.
So my second question was about the marvelous ability for tolerance from the mother-in-law. Like, you do your religion, I'll do mine, and a sign of that was obvious in that Maria had all kinds of Christian symbols in her house, which I wonder how common, is that fairly common among Persians to be very tolerant religiously? I was really curious of that. Given the Ayatollah and all that.
Maria told me her mother-in-law was a very religious woman and from a very religious family. Do you know Ayatollah?
Ayatollah Khomeini?
No. Ayatollah are very religious. The men, like, for example, cardinal in Christian.
It's a senior religious figure.
And
authority.
Maria told me her mother-in-law was Ayatollah daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
So her father was the Ayatollah.
Yeah, her father was the Ayatollah, and but she told me she has very open mind, and she told Maria at that time, you don't have a mother, but I'm like your mother, and I try to learn everything to you because Maria didn't know cook, and she told me she could learn every Persian food by her mother-in-law, and she helped Maria very much.
Learning the cooking.
Cooking and everything.
Okay. Adam, maybe your question?
Sure. Hi. Yeah, I have a question. I noticed do they have, if any, in the community in Tehran, are there like different Polish organizations or anything like that?
Do you want to know how did they help me?
Yes.
I think not very much.
So it was a diplomatic thank you.
Only when I had my first screening in Tehran, Embassy of Poland invited British ambassador in this program. At that time, Mr. Nicholas Houghton was the British embassy in Tehran. And he told me, I like to help you, but I didn't know at that time how he wants to help me. After many days, I had a message from Embassy of Poland, and they told me Mr. Houghton wrote a good tweet for you and your movie. And after it, this group could find me in Twitter. Kirsty Siberia could find me. And a lot of people could find me. I think.
So he put the word out into the world.
I think it's it's a big help from Embassy of Poland. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, to get the word out. And then, of course, most people might know that the Polish embassy takes care of the cemeteries, like in Dulab and Pahlavi as well. So, but I don't think there are very many Polish people in Iran anymore. The three ladies.
I only know 3 ladies in Tehran. Maybe there are more in other cities. I don't know. Because I know many Polish women live in many years ago in Rash city or Kazvin, Anzali or Pahlavi. But I don't know about them now. I asked Polish Embassy of Poland in Tehran, but they didn't know. They didn't answer me yet, and they didn't help me very much. Only for visa and just.
Well, I had a question. I don't know if there's any others, just as you're thinking. Me first. And then Maria, I'll ask, with respect. My question was really about your movie now. Where have you shown it, and where do you plan to show it? Has it been in some festivals in Iran, for example? Or what's your plan for the movie?
I think my movie is not very good for Iran television. There are many problems in this movie. For example, this woman smokes every time. And she do color nail, and it's not good in Iran television. And maybe she is without a scarf. I don't know. Maybe they didn't like it. They don't like it. But I had 4 screenings in Tehran in different places, and there's the part of I don't know what does mean. There's a organization for artistical movies and documentary movies in Iran. The name of it, this organization is Art and Experience.
Okay.
And I think my movie is good for this part because they usually show many movies in movie theaters in Iran. And I want to try to show my movie in this part. Also, I went to TVN Historia in Poland.
Oh yes, TVN Historia.
And I spoke.
Or TVP.
TVP, yeah. I spoke with them. I don't know if they like to show my movie. I don't know. I like to show my movie in different places, different countries. If some people can help me, it's good. I don't know.
Okay. Well, and I think that we'll be helping with some showings in England. I think Mark and Ivana, and we're through the Christy Siberia group. I think we can help to spread the news of this film as well.
Because I'm going to London on Friday, and I hope I can show my movie in England, in London.
Maybe the Polish embassy can be more helpful there also.
Yeah. In London?
Yes, if anyone has a connection.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and Posk. Simona, could you pass the microphone to Maria, please, for a question? And then maybe we'll make that the last. Yes?
Want to say that it's a beautifully, skillfully woven together, the movie. And of course it's of special interest to Sibiraks, naturally. Do you think the general audience of Iranians or international is interested, will be as interested? Not as, but it is of interest, of a general interest?
I think this movie can be interesting for people from Western countries, because a lot of people ask me, this woman, and is she happy in Iran? And they ask about her situation in Iran. And I think people can understand in this movie, by this movie, and they can understand, is she happy or not? And
And I really appreciated how candid it was, and the humor in it, like it wasn't doctored too much. And of course, the scenes from Tehran made me want to visit that city.
Oh,
beautiful,
sure.
beautiful
Sure.
scenes. Yeah.
I hope to see you in Tehran.
Okay, we have an invitation. Okay, well then, Nargis, thank you again very much. I think with an eye to the clock, it's before 6 on my watch, but after 6 on that clock, so it must be very close to 6 o'clock. We have 2 more things to do before we finish today. Well, maybe 3. The first one I'm going to do is just remind everybody that we are still together tomorrow, and I think there's about at least 12 of us who are going to be coming to the Citadel, to the Katyń Museum. I recommend the Katyń Museum very much if you're in Warsaw and you haven't seen it. See it tomorrow. And then there will be a mass, there will be a grochówka, which is a pea soup, very traditional. And so I think at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, it all starts at the Citadel, the Katyń Museum. And then we will be marching together in the March of Memory at 4 o'clock. It's about a 10-minute walk, maybe 15-minute walk. Joanne, it might be difficult for you because it is a few kilometers, but it's our chance for us to visibly show that we are the generations remembering what has happened. So that's tomorrow. Today, we have maybe 2 more things, I think. One is a brief summation of the conference from me, and I'll try to make it very brief. And then we will finish up. You've been given the words for Marsz Sybirakov, which was a song that was actually composed, I believe, in Italy, under Andrew's army, but I will be corrected on this. But it is traditional for the Sibiraks to sing this, and we will do our best to sing it. We will have a YouTube version on the screen, and then Ivana Januszaitis will also help lead us through this, and Ivana Krasan too, if you'd like. So,
Okay.
if anybody needs to escape, please escape right now because we are about to sing.
Stefan. Jeszcze chciałem Marcie podziękować i pracownikom z Domu Spotkań teraz.
Okay,
Możemy?
to wiesz co, Macie? Poczekaj. Bo ja zrobię podsumację. So, okay, so can I make a brief summation then for us of the last 2 days from my perspective? We have been doing these conferences for 5 years. This is our 5th conference, and I think that with great confidence, I can say that this has been the best in terms of the variety and the interest of the speakers, starting from Tomasz Kuba-Kozłowski, who has spoken, I believe, at every conference and is always a highlight for us. And for us this time, he really emphasized the hidden art treasures that came from Lwów at the heart of Eastern Poland, which are still only being discovered and understood. And I think the one thing that we have in common is the place we come from, our families come from, those roots, which is Eastern Poland. Even if all of the histories diverge after that, and some end up in New Zealand, and some end up in Siberia, and some end up in Africa or in Iran, we all started from that same place, and that's what Tomasz reminded us of. Then we had Jonathan, who gave us some very good insights into the journeys that people went through and the lives that they had during and after the war, and I think introduced us to this theme of memory being such a strong factor in what we have and also in what we are looking for, I think, because these experiences really only exist, they're in the past, they only exist in our memories. And the importance, when I think about when we founded Kresy Siberia nearly 20 years ago, we had the 3 R's: research, remembrance, and recognition, because we were all trying to find out the research, what happened. The remembrance, we wanted to preserve this experience for the future. And then the recognition is we wanted to recognize what people went through and validate that for them. And I think that, again, that memory piece was really important for us, Jonathan. And then just looking briefly at how that flowed through, we had Jan Viktor Sienkiewicz, who showed us again how following on the art, the lost, perhaps now being refound art of these Siberians who were in Anders' army, and how that is being regenerated and recreated in its knowledge through the work of people like yourself, Professor Sienkiewicz, so thank you very much. And then I think that really flowed quite naturally through to the artist sitting next to you, who is not a plastic artist, but an artist of the scene. I love these Polish words, artysta plastyczny, artysta inscenizacji. And Ivana, thank you very much for personalizing that journey through your own words and through your song, which was wonderful. So, to me, there's a kind of a logic that flows through this and where we are going. What are our memories? What does it all mean? It's that search for meaning. We had a tremendous feast, the biesiada, last night. We didn't have much singing, but we had a lot of food and a fair amount of alcohol as well. So that was special to bring us together. And then today, again, we sort of continued on with the theme with the Siberian Memory Museum, with the director, Wojciech Szezinski and Piotr Popławski, who came and talked to us about what they're doing, which I think is tremendous because it's bringing the physical focus. It's true that the internet, as Adam pointed out in one of your comments, physical museums maybe are they passé? I don't know, they have limitations. But they also have some strengths that an internet ephemeral effect doesn't have, because they have a focal point that gets created. And I have a lot of hope that with the museum and with Kresy Siberia, we can bring the best of both together. So again, I thought that was a really important and inspirational presentation that we had from the museum this morning. Then we had a few of the presentations that came together in quite a good theme between Marcin and Paulina talking about their explorations, be it to Siberia, to their roots where the family had been, or other Polish places around the world that Marcin has been bringing to life through his blog and his presentation today. And then we finished, I think, with a couple of very insightful ladies, Tanya, who's just left, unfortunately, so she won't hear me say this, but I think she really brought a great amount of insight and sensitivity into her grandfather's writings. And then Amanda, with the work that you've been doing with the sibiraks, the image that stays in my mind is the little children holding hands singing, and then all of a sudden, 70 or 80 years later, there's the same, they've become the children again, singing those songs. It's so wonderful how it lives on in the memory. So again, and then Nargis with your film. Very insightfully done, very tactful, and I think it was amazing how much Maria Baidan was able to recount everything that she had gone through with such poise and elegance. So for me, it has all very importantly and elegantly fitted together around our theme of the generations remember. Now, I will say one other thing. You'll notice, maybe it's not on here, but on the program it says that we are having this conference in the 100th year of Poland's reacquisition of independence, and also in the 75th year of the Wołyń massacres. Now, these are both important themes in our work. I am confessing that this conference did not have very much to say about independence, struggle, and it did not have very much to say about the Wołyń massacres. But that's all right, because we don't force the agenda on these conferences. We let the participants bring what is interest of them to the conference. And I think we saw that this time. But I have a special thought and request. For next year, I would like to start organizing the conference today. And I would like us to start thinking about how to weave together a program, perhaps working with the Museum of Siberian Memory in Białystok, to really start harnessing our partnership. Next year, as Tomasz at the beginning said, it's the 100th year of all the Kresy really actually joining Poland, and also the 80th year of the war starting, when Kresy was lost. And I think that we can use those as a way of inspiring a really tremendous conference to even beat this one, which has been the best one ever. So I would like to invite anyone who has ideas or energy to help organize this conference, whether it's planning or speaking or organizing the theme or doing publicity. These are all important elements to running a conference. And let's start today so that we can actually draw in as many interesting people to speak and to participate in it. So thank you all very much for this. I'm also going to now thank Maciej, if you could come up for a moment and you can hold the microphone. I'll thank you for being our Poland volunteer, our official organizer for the conference. None of us are paid any money to do this kind of work. So it's all Liebe and passion and love for us. And so Maciej, thank you again for pulling together something tremendous. We're all around the world. You're here on the spot. So it's very important for us.
Thank you, Stefan, but I should also say thank you to Iwona and Marek Krasoń.
Please be upstanding.
Who came to Warsaw a week ago and prepared all week this conference. And everybody from our volunteers. And I also would like to say thank you to Marta Łukaska here in History Meeting House, meeting coordinator. Unfortunately, Marta had to go earlier, but we prepare for her Professor Anders' artist album with all our signs. Everybody, I think, sign the book, signature, yes. So I gave her. But please come here.
Maciej.
People who from History Meeting House who help us all 2 days, IT. Przekażcie nasze podziękowania wszystkim, którzy tutaj pracowali na wasze ręce i bardzo wam dziękujemy. Thank you very much for the streaming with translation.
And Maciej, may I also add a couple of more thanks. First of all, I wanted to thank Mietek Pobociński, who spoke at the beginning and who is an inspiration to us at Kresy Siberia, because he has helped provide that connection to the Sibiraks, and every year to organize as many of them to come as can come to participate in this. And that's an important connection for us, and we really appreciate all of the support. Dziękujemy bardzo. Jesteśmy bardzo wdzięczni. And I also wanted to thank two people who you haven't seen very much, but who can probably see us through the camera, which is Anastasia and Renata. Hello. Oh, here we see them. Hello, thank you. Thank you very much. Dziękujemy bardzo. you're invisible, but you've been heard by all of us and also over the internet. It's fabulous and fantastic of what you do, and we really, really appreciate that. And I also wanted to just say thank you to all of the people who are watching us, who aren't here physically, but who are watching us either through the internet now, or we will have these proceedings archived on the internet. So if somebody wants to, if you've missed one of the talks or want to recommend it to somebody, the links are going to be on, actually the links are already on our conference website. It says watch the proceedings, and then you can click on that, and it's on YouTube. Okay, so please pass the word around. And then finally, Grace and Greg the photographer, who did such a great job setting us up for the photo. And then Grace, who is writing the report, I think for the, is it the third year or the second year? Second year you're writing the report for the conference. And I promise that we'll get it up within a month so people can look at it and read it, because we always, all being volunteers, we drag things out terribly. So we will do that, and thank you again for volunteering to do that. So,
and we should up and thanks to the Stefan who coordinate conference from Sydney and here 2 days.
And my mother can't believe that I do it, so thank you. Now you have the words for Marsz Sybiraków i zaczynamy.
If it's catchy, I'll catch it. Jestem tylko.
Miast kresowych, wschodnich osad i wsi, z rezydencji białych dworków i chat, myśmy wciąż do niepodległej szli.
Brawo!
Szli z uporem ponad 200 lat. Wydłużyli drogę carystykaci, przez Syberię biegł najdłuższy szlak. I w kajdanach szli konfederaci, modliłami zacząć polski brak. W insurrekcji Kościół szkocki wzrosnął, szkół barykad Warszawy i Łodzi, konradowskich unosił się duch i nad marszu do polskich przewodził. A myśmy szli i szli dziesiątkowani, przez kraj wyslepy plątaniną dróg. A myśmy szli i szli niepokonani, a cud nad Wisłą darował nam Bóg. A myśmy szli i szli dziesiątkowani, przez kraj wyslepy plątaniną dróg. A myśmy szli i szli niepokonani, a cud nad Wisłą darował nam Bóg. Z miast kresowych, wschodnich osad i wsi, szkół, urzędów i kamienic i chat, myśmy znów do niepodległej szli, jak z zaboru sprzed 20 lat. Bo od września, od 17 muszą drogą ruszyć każdy z nas. Przez wód wschodnie góra północnego, przez Lubiankę, przez Katyński las. Na nieludzkiej ziemi znowu polski brak wyznaczymy bezimienne krzyże. Nie zatrzymał nas czerwony kat, bo przed nami Polska coraz bliżej. I myśmy szli dziesiątkowani, choć radą pragną nas podzielić znów. I przed budową przeszliśmy niepokonani, aż wolną Polskę raczył wrócić znów. I myśmy szli dzieciątko odwagi, choć z radą pragną nas podzielić znów. I przed budową przeszliśmy niepokonani, aż wolną Polskę raczył wrócić znów.
Dziękujemy i tym kończymy. I do następnego roku.
Marsz Sybiraków was composed by Marian Jonkaitis, which in the age 8 was 6 years in Kazakhstan. Yes, and the music composed Czesław Majewski, but he wasn't Sybirak.
Dziękuję. Marian Jonkaitis.
Penny.